Greetings everyone, hello and welcome to Frostpunk 2. Once again, the game is actually coming out in 1 or 2 weeks, depending on where we get the keys. But of course there was a demo back in April, and this is a re-edited, compiled playthrough of this, right? So it was a couple of episodes back in the days. It's now one video for you to enjoy once more, to refresh our minds on what's to come in Frostpunk 2. I can't wait for it. I hope you also can't wait for it. And if you're also interested in Frostpunk 2, don't forget, you can also purchase it with a discount on my channel's link in the video description. And I also appreciate every like and subscribe that you guys show me very much. Now, without further ado, let's actually jump into the Frostpunk 2 demo version once more with this re-edited Let's Play. Go, 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 go. A new beginning. The end of the world changes people. It changed us. Us, the foragers, natural survivalists adapted to harsh frostland conditions. The machinists, descendants of groups that built the initial cities and maintained the machinery. We chose you as our steward to lead the city as overpopulation looms and resources dwindle. We all dream of a better future. What it should look like, this we can't agree on. Tension stirs and radicals rear their heads. Navigating this will be your ultimate challenge. The city must not fall. And with that, yeah, once again, we're back in the Frostlands. It's been a while, and there's our city. And as we can see, the generator is still there. All nice and well. The coal is running out though, and we have to colonize the Frostland. But first, we located some coal deposits in rough terrain around the city. And ladies and gents, there we are, finally. Oh god. Frostpunk 2 it is. And yeah, we can see it is looking so much more different, right? We can zoom out really far and have just a really small fraction of our city there. We can also zoom in really close into the city itself, into the heart of the city that we have right now. And yeah, it is week 1, day 7. We have 1916, so we're playing after the events of Frostpunk 1. And yeah, we have calm weather right now, so this is pretty much the same, negative 20 degrees right now. There is some temperatures drop on the horizon, and we have a population of what? What exactly? No, it's not 600 anymore, it's 8,000 people that are living right now in the city, and this is only a progress level 2%. That is probably pretty crazy. Now we also have two communities that are working with us right now, the foragers and the machinists, and both of them, so machinist, it is actually, I'm sorry if I'm saying this here wrong, and these guys here, these two groups, the foragers and the machinists, they're now working in this district here and working together. Not really, right? Tensions between them is the one that we need to get cracking. Now we have a first goal here: access the coal deposits in the Frostland. For this, let's have a look at my building menu. It's also a bit different. We're not building buildings anymore, we're building districts, right? And we have to start with something, and that is the frost breaking. This actually costs me some workforce, and teams of workers with heavy equipment breaking ice and preparing ground so that the city can be expanded. And we need to find us some coal deposits. Yeah, you might actually see this over there, and we can actually dig ourselves then over there, and we need to make sure that this is actually the size of a district, right? So it can't be too small, and there's no one tile, right? We have 5 tiles, for example, that we need to get cracking. And as you can see, there is now also the machinery, and we have 450,000 coal in this deposit. And this is basically now an area that we clear for the real district to be built then. Alright, while this is happening, we can also check out up here, we have some heat stamps right now. This is going to be needed for my population. We have some cores, 25, which is quite a bit. The workforce is 4,500. Over here we have then our heat levels and our coal, our housing, our food, our goods. This is something new, right? So stockpile of goods that we're going to have. And over here then also a guard squad. Surplus is 12 right now from the central district. Alright, there it is. It has been cleared, and now we can build that extraction district right on top of it. And for this we need to make room. As you can see, the game tells me I need 6 tiles for this here to fully work, right? And we probably will go ahead then and build us that district. It is getting then already connected to my central hub that we have over here. It's also cold right now, extremely increased by shelter scarcity. That's a problem that we have right now. Also, we have a minor crime problem. So once again, there's problems then coming up as well as it's getting colder. Also some diseases we have right now in the city. Looming cold. As the cold problem in our city continues to worsen, we must take action to protect our citizens. In these harsh conditions, people need a roof over their heads and enough heat to warm their homes. Is the generator powerful enough to heat the city? Or do we need to extract more fuel? If our current methods aren't enough, we should consider alternatives. Cold has risen to a concerning level. And once again, the pressure is mounting already. And after a short time, the extraction district has been finished. And we secured a new source of coal, but now we need shelter. Without it, people will still freeze to death, regardless of how hot the generator runs. The closer to the generator or other shelter, the better. We cannot afford to lose more heat than we have to. So this is also something new. The districts themselves that are being heated are radiating their heat as well to some degree, right? That we need to make sure that we use as well. So housing district it is, and use the warmth from the central district or another housing by constructing housing in close proximity. And this is something we can do. And as you can see, the further I get out, there is no heating here. But if I attach it right away to my city, we actually get some heat out of this. Some basic heat at least, right? And yeah, let's build the next housing district. And as we can see, they're actually also quite in size, right? And there you go. So I guess we can also then already see that, yeah, to some extent, we'll need to carefully manage those tiles around the districts. And the first housing district has been finished, and we can build the next one right away. Each one of these districts costs me workforce to maintain the district and also heat stamps, right? So we cannot endlessly expand this as we want. Let's have the next one. Yeah, right next to this housing district. Close to that mountain over here, where it's then also ending, right? And up here we can see there's some iron ore and some fertile ground. Oh, this is interesting. We're going to have some farming. Past hot houses, perhaps? We'll just see. Also some frozen forests again for the sawmills, ready for sawing, I guess. Security for the future. Stuart, we're extracting more coal than we currently need to provide adequate heat to the city. As such, we have begun to stockpile the surplus. At the moment, we have ample storage space left. However, this space will eventually be filled and any additional coal will be left out in the elements, rendering it worthless. If we do not wish to lose the surplus, we should build more depots. And for this, we actually have not only districts, we also have buildings, right? Smaller buildings. So I was a bit wrong there in saying we're not buildings. We're not building buildings anymore, but we are rather sometimes building stuff like depots now that we have there, right? We have the fuel depot, the food depot, and the goods depot, and then also materials. This one here is, for example, for various resources that we have then in surplus as well. I think though by now we should not get ahead of ourselves here. We have the housing district coming up. With heat from the generator and shelter for everyone, we're safe from the cold now. But as the city grows, it will not be enough. The machinists and foragers have different opinions on how to improve the city further. We need a place to develop ideas for the future. Expand the housing district, and with this also provide a special building to this district. So each district has special buildings, and this one is the research institute and unlocks the idea tree, so basically the tech tree that we have. Increases also research speed. It demands, however, heat. And with this, we need to find us a slot for it. Before we can do this, though, we need to expand the district, right? So a basic district is not working for this. We need to expand this one. So there we have it. Expand the district to provide a building slot. And let's just see, we need 3 slots for this. Over here. This once again also costs me some heat stamps. There we have it, and now we should be able to build us that research institute. There it is. There's a slot for a building now available that we can use. A small crowd gathers outside of the new research institute, arguing how to exploit the last coal veins. The machinists want us to learn on machine-powered mining, but foragers would have us pursue a more frugal solution. They would never display such discord in the captain's heyday. You have to choose who to entrust with developing their ideas. Alright, I will make that decision now. And we need ideas to move forward. Different communities have different needs. So whatever I go for, I will definitely make the other ones angrier, right? And as we can see, there's going to be a lot of tech here, right? So this is the ones that we can see. We have 3 trees available then, also the economy tree here, and then also the society tree that we have on top of that, with hospitals and watchtowers. For survival, we need to start with the coal mines, and requires an extraction district, mining operations where residue coal dust is sucked up and compressed into briquettes to make maximum use of the resources. This will cost me additional workforce, but I guess that's the whole idea. And we need to pay, what is it, 50 food stamps again? Or was it coin now? No, it's food stamps. Or heat stamps, right? Heat stamps, that's actually the money. So in this case here, that's coin that we have. So this is now being researched. And there it is, the dust coal mine has been researched. This is a new building now that we can use then in the coal mine. And now we can build it. Wait a second. Perhaps we might need to... No, there is no expansion needed for this district. We can just build it right away with the 80 heat stamps and some workforce that we still have left. This will increase the coal output of this area. Needed because right now we have a balance, right? Requirement and output is the same. So we're not really stockpiling anything right now. There's also no more coal deposits close by. So this is why we need to do this right now. Also interesting, from afar we can see immediately extraction zone, housing zone. And there's also the new dust mine. With the new mine, we have enough coal output to last us a while. Yet differences between communities remain. Even under the previous leader, plans have existed to establish a council to settle such differences. More pressing problems always delayed them. The time has come, Stuart. The people want to say in how the city is run. Alright, we now need to build a city hall in the central district that we have over here. If we click on a district, we also can see the generator here, for example, we can turn off and on. The overdrive once more, right? And we can see that there is a building slot available to us. And we want to use this now for council hall, for 80 food stamps. 20 heat is being required by this again. So this will increase my coal consumption once more. And there it is. The council gathers for the first time, right in here in the center. We can also see that the scale is a bit different, right? It's looking like we're tilted a bit. But everything appears to be much bigger than before. First council session, people jeer as the gates of the council open. It feels like a piece of the world lost to the frost has been regained. The people are hopeful to have their voices heard. While the machinists and foragers clash about our survival strategy, neither has a firm stance on the economy or social issues. However, many in their ranks do, though they keep to the shadows for now. Oh, and we're now in the building. And the people of the city sent 100 delegates to represent them. Your role as a steward is to propose laws that will be put to a vote. However, communities have different outlook on many things. You may have to negotiate or pressure them to get enough support. Oh, this seems rather complex. Survival it is. Let's just have a look at that. First of all, do we have a mission here? Enact a new law through a successful vote in the council. Alright, so it's any law that we can go with. We have, for example, the resources, the frostland, the efficiency. Let's have a look into economy, citizenship. There are no clear rules about who can settle in the city. Let's start with money, right? Basic necessities are customarily provided without compensation, but practice can differ from place to place. And with that, we can increase the heat stamps income per capita. So have a look at this. There's nothing enforced right now, and we can have the free essentials or the paid essentials. And yeah, this one here is towards merit, and this one is towards equality. I mean, we're fighting for our survival, so idealist is not really for me. Equality, what is equality if we're dead? So in this case here, heat stamp income is increased and resource production efficiency is slightly increased. People are divided in both of them. Let's go for the merit tree and try to make this work. As we can see, the council has started, and 4 are 20 against are 10, and hesitant are 70. We can now pressure the delegates. We are tolerated right now. Negotiate. We probably should still do this here. And we could negotiate with the foragers. They're mostly hesitant, or the machinists. Let's go with the foragers. And we probably will have to give them something in return. So for example, we can promise them expedition support. Everyone must aid expeditions by helping them prepare for their journeys. This seems about right. And with that, we actually get 59 that are for this law here. Let's accept. And with that, you can go out there and vote. That was actually, yeah, decisive. And with that, that vote has it. Perfect. The new law has been agreed on. Good. There are challenges ahead. Improving coal extraction is a success, but the vein will only last so long. We need to explore the frostland for a permanent source of fuel. That's the first step in our colonization effort. If we don't take it, the city will have no future. This concludes the task. Alright. And the stockpiles are depleted of food. And we must expand our districts or establish new ones to provide more supply. We need more food supply, that is. Yeah, we're rather low on that. Establish a food colony would be the next one here. Actually, we got a new district there. Food district today, 600 workforce and 100 heat stamp. It will require some heat again. And also now some materials that we have them. We have a surplus of that right now. Not really. So this is equal almost, right? Build also a logistics district and find a permanent source of fuel. However, we have actually 4,000 materials in the stockpile right now, so I can actually build both of them, right? I do need the logistics district for enabling sending frostland charting expeditions. Let's just see where we might send them, I think, out there, right? So it makes sense to have the expedition district a bit further outside, the logistics one that we can have then here. Oh, is it dedicated? So there it is, one of these, right? An old way station, ruins of an old way station battered down during the Whiteout years. And this is where we need to have these logistic points, because from here on we can venture outside. However, I think we'll need to clear a path to this area first. There you go. Right, frost breaking once more, going to take a while. In the meantime, we can also establish a food colony. A food district. Probably, somewhere over here. Ah, we need to place it on a food resource, right? Like this one here. There you go. A new food district is coming along. Also a fuel colony. I think this will we not have yet close by. And industrial. That is the materials colony, perhaps. All right, 2 constructions on our way right now. Reducing my supply again. There's the frost breaking. And now we should be able then to use one of these here. Still not. We need to clear quite a bit of snow there. And there is also the food district. Also, colder season is upon us. And with that, we also have an increased heat generation. And with that, also higher demand for coal. And there's now my food district. The workforce is working there. Oh. The lack of a law regulating childhood is causing tension to rise throughout the city. So we need to do something about that too. Alright, let's have a quick look at my council there again. For society, it is most likely family, childhood. And we can define rules now here. Mandatory school or family apprenticeship. All children must work along one of their relatives. Or to guarantee that all children have the skills and knowledge needed in the city, we will establish a mandatory school program. Heat stamps income per capita is decreased again, but still, I think with this, we're going the right way. Let's negotiate once more. We should probably also give something to the machinists, right? Anyway, the foragers won't negotiate at all, so they don't like this. The machinists would. And you have to vote for it, please. And what should I promise them in return? We could flat out fund their projects. I don't like the demolish the dust coal mine. They don't like this, in fact, the mining operation there. But without it, we would die. I mean, come on. This is not reasonable. And policy city development effort. Everyone must support the extraction work to gain more resources. And with this, we would actually get it. You can vote for it now. And I think mandatory school gets passed with this. Perfect. The second law in effect.
The eyes have it.
And with that, we have hopefully no more childhood problems right now at hand anyway. Frost breaking, how's it coming along? Should be finished now. There it is. Perfect. And we can build our first logistics district right over here. I love how detailed these constructions are and those districts. Now we need to pass the expedition support. We have still some time for this. And then also the city development effort. How's my food looking now? Surplus is there. Very nice. Not quite there though yet at the moment. We have plenty of food in stock. Not really too. What's going on here? To me it seems we don't have enough food right now. Alright. City approach trail. The lack of a law regulating outsiders is decreased population. There is an entrepreneur coming in. Roaming the streets without regulations. Alright. Where are they coming from anyway? We are in the frostland. Alright, let's finish this district here. That will open up then expeditions that we can have. There we have it. Scouring the frostlands is now possible. And with that, expeditions we have. And this opens up, once again, a bigger map around us. And we can now go to these areas with our expeditions. To the plains, for example, it's a safe territory over there. Vast expanse of relatively low elevation. Safe territory, fast to charge, few frostland teams required. We might find some food over there. It requires 10 teams. And we have 10 teams. Also the valley over there. As we can see, for example, that there are also... Oh, there's a river. Could be an indicator of an underground resource, likely oil or gas over here. The mountain, for example, requires 40 frostland teams. So this is actually a really challenging area, right? Oh, there's also an event here. Growing hunger. It has risen. Build food districts or research buildings to search the frostland and fight it. Yes, yes, it's doing this. Let's go with the plains. Start this expedition. Currently charting the area now, right? With the team that we have. Let's expand the food district. Simply because we need to. Might also consider a second food district if we had the resources close by. Up here we have it, right? But this is inaccessible for me right now. I also cannot frost break my way up there. I mean, can I? Oh yeah, I could do it here, right? That's a lot of frost breaking there again. And once again also, ice bloods formed in support of dust, coal, mine and paid essentials. That's William Hoff, a hunter. So you can already see this game is having a very big exclamation point on your society this time around, right? The focus is on that. Way more than on pure survival. And with that, the ice bloods have been founded. 8% of the city. It's foragers that have been organized in a faction. Hardened survivalists, they're prone for adaptation, merit and tradition. And they seek to pass these laws here then as well. Family apprenticeship, I can already tell you that I'm not going to like them so much. There's also 19 people sick right now that we should do something about. The expedition in the meantime, I think, has arrived. And is now charting the territory over there. And also the ice bloods are telling me about their motivation there right now. Food district has been expanded. I'm still looking out to get this one up, right? So with that we are producing now 108. We still have a demand of 52 though. So that's still not enough. I can only expand it though once. So we'll need to find more sources of food. Or I need to research something for food. And we have the hothouses available, so we can produce more food by building this. It requires a workforce and also some heat stamps once more. Even more interesting is, however, that for this house here that requires a food district, we can also see its effect on the different factions that we have in town. For the foragers, for example, it's reducing their diseases. For the machinists, it's reducing their squalor, so the filth, grime, pollution percent in the city. It is produced by the generator. and increases sickliness, and this is getting increased by that a bit. And for our new ice bloods, it is reducing, oh, it's increasing actually diseases a bit, right? But I like the idea, so let's continue with the hothouses. Food is super important right now. The game also tells me to go with a food colony. Yeah, I totally understand this. We're still scouring the plains though, right? This still takes some time here. Alright, let's go back to the city there. Find a permanent source of fuel outside of the city and pass the expedition support. I think this is a proposal for the law. And we can see here already there's a promise that I have for the ice blood, for example. I think these are rather radical, right? What do they want? Expedition support. Exploration time is decreased. And yeah, supported by forages and ice blood. So this actually should get voted right away. Ooh, it was close though in its beginning, but I think we're still getting another boost here. Yeah, there it is. 71 once more. Promise fulfilled, hopefully. And they're delighted, the forages. They now look upon your rule more positively and consider you a leader with integrity. So with that, a promise has been filled. The machinists, in the meantime, want to have the city development effort enacted. We'll just see. Let's wait for this a bit. Heat stamps, we're getting 13 per week right now from the population primarily. And thanks to our law, we are getting a bit more out of that, right? 2.4 more from the paid essentials then. Alright, let's just wait for the hothouses to be finished. And also, a new colder season starts. We have negative 40 degrees now. Yeah, and coal production is equal right now. Can I not do anything else here? I can still expand the district. Provides also one more building slot. There you go. Heat stamps we have plenty of. Alright, so the next one, the Outsiders, the second event that we have for us. We caught smugglers with a freezing and disoriented group of people. When warmed, fed and questioned, they spoke of the grim reputation our city has among the survivors. It's the only generator there is, but we've heard stories of what some of the guides do to people trying to get in. What should we do? The persistent lack of a law regulating outsiders is causing the crime to rise. The thing is, I can promise this. We have 30 weeks then. We already have this promise here that's more pressing though. And we have a cooldown on laws, right? So we cannot just enact one law after each other. We have a cooldown. So we need to juggle the laws there as well, on top of everything, right? With priorities set. How's it going down here in the plains? Should be finished now anytime. And there is also the Ice Bloods faction now. The Machinists are actually the biggest community. There we can also fund them projects now, and they would actually then increase for us. So it's very important that we keep especially the most powerful members of society on our side. Alright, what pressing issue do we have? Housing is fine actually. Heat is not that fine. Unfulfilled heat is 90. The generator is outputting, but not enough. And the council hall is also consuming, of course. And cutthroat economy, paid essentials. That's the law that we've passed. And work goes through the worthiest. If these people were passed up, it's their own damn fault. Others are more measured and say we could provide them with a weekly allowance. Okay. Handlers make paid essentials remain unchanged. I'm doing it like that for now. We need the money. It will not be very good for the forages right now, but that's okay. Alright, I think something happened out there. Yeah, there is a ration bunker. The door to a bunker glinted in the snow, revealing a massive hoard of rations. This could provide a steady stream of food. Yeah. We cannot set up an outpost, though. Let's have a look inside. And the resources will be sent. 70. Harvest them. Is this now one of my outposts? Establish a food colony? Nope. It's just an outpost though now that is providing some food. Yes, and with that we have a surplus of food. Alright, at least that's something for now. But it's no colony at the moment, right? Since we don't have that tech, I think. So this is something we need to research. An old enemy, Stuart. It was only a matter of time. We had an unusually long streak of mild weather, but now meteorologists are clear. There's a familiar drop in the air pressure at higher altitudes. A whiteout is coming. The wind will cause extreme cold and the clouds will blot out the sun. We will be ready. A whiteout arrives in 80 weeks and the heat demand for this will greatly increase during that period. Whiteouts are more or less the new storms that we have. Right. Also, the bio-waste drum hothouse has been finished. That is something we're going to need for, yeah, my food production, right? The hothouses that we have with that. Also, the promise to the machinists we have pass a city development effort at the moment. So let's also have a quick look at this. For city development, we need to have another one. And this one affects the economy. Enforced right now is the expedition support. Exploration time is decreased. Now we can go for the city development effort because of the promise. And everyone must support the extraction work in an effort to gain more resources. This actually makes sense to me right now since there is a storm coming and we need more coal. And the material output per capita is increased with that as well. So let's actually propose this one. The majority is already in favor of this. So I think we can go ahead and vote right away. And we should win this one easily. There it is, and it has been passed, and we don't need to do any new promise. I'm glad for that. And the machinists are delighted you kept your word. They now look upon your rule more positively. Also, the relationship with them is being improved, as we also can see. To neutral at least. Well, I guess we were neutral before, but that's that. Now, I would like to also continue with this new building that we have. That is the bio-waste drum hothouse, right? Diseases is slightly increased, but it is increasing the food output significantly, and since we're growing a bit faster, let's actually get this one in here as well. This is going to yeah, be my next food developments that we have. Now coal is still also a problem, and we only have this extraction district there right now. I don't have anything else, but I think we should have another coal slot available. We have, so I can get a second dust coal slot in, and with that boosting my output again, because don't forget we expanded this district here already, and this should give me additional output. What's up next? Ooh, doing here reading assignment. Mandatory school promises a better future for the children. Now we still have those missions here right now. One of them is pass any law in the outsider category. Very well. I would like to do this. We're just going to wait for the cooldown. A permanent source of fuel outside, and also the food colony. For this, once again, we need to find ourselves a way station. There is one, right? So once again, I need to kind of like dig my way over there. Feels kind of like a puzzle, right? That we're doing this, going towards these locations. There's nothing over here. Oh, actually, there is one as well at the exits of my little crater that we have, and we will dig then to both of them if we need that. All right. Also, we have a nice coal output again, so we can stockpile right now. Very good. That's going to be important. There's actually heating increase again, so it's going to get a bit warmer before it's getting colder. Next up, I would like to research more in the logistics space so we can get more explorers out there. And for this, yeah, once again, we can have a look at the factions, and totally right, each of these factions offers me a different invention, right? So the foragers, for example, give me the Vanguard logistics bay that costs more workforce but provides 15 frostland teams. On the other hand, the machinists give me the automated logistics bay that only costs 500 workforce and only gives me 10 frostland teams output. Since we have quite a bit of workforce, I would actually go for the Vanguard logistics bay and handling only essential survival gear with this. Let's develop the idea. Another thing we can prepare is another materials extraction zone. Now this material extraction zone here gives me coal, right? And it does cost me 90 materials extraction district. If I build another extraction district, I can actually get materials out of it if I have it in one of my frozen forests here, for example. Since materials is something that's actually required right now, and it's also pretty much required by any other district, I should probably push this a bit further. And yeah, we have the frozen forest right here. The only question is, can I build it right on top of it? Yes, I can. Very good. And we can just make it right next to this street that I already have there, right? So that we combine this once again. And I would also like to go ahead with another housing district then in the middle here, in between, before we go to the industry zone out there again. So you can also, of course, decide on how you want to structure your city this way, I think. Next up on the list, Roberta Neumann. Technocrats have formed in opposition to the Ice Bloods. The city's changing. We started a family here, we bore children. But now these Ice Bloods, they walk around telling people what to do, what to think. What they spout, though, is utter folly. Alright, so a new faction we have. The Technocrats. 12% of the city already. Coming out of the Machinists as well, or have organized in a faction. They are for progress, equality, and reason. And unlocks the assist researchers community action as well. Also, they seek to pass these laws here that we have, right? Except all outsiders, I can already say that I'm probably not for this, but we'll just see. So we probably will have to give them a new promise then as well. Let's just quickly check it out. Can we expand the logistics district in the meantime? I would like to do this to get more expedition teams out. There you go. So also another expansion over there. And there it is, a new law. We have the promise here still for the outsiders. Pass any law in the outsider category. And it's a bit interesting there because we have two very interesting choices. And the first one is allow productive outsiders. This will increase my population growth marginally, but it also increases my heat stamp income per capita. On the other hand, if we accept all outlanders, we get a pretty big population growth in addition, right? Both of them are totally valid in this case here. And I would like to go with the productive outsiders. This is actually supported by the Ice Bloods, while this one here would be supported by the Technocrats. Yeah, I can't have everything all the time. And this will not be probably for it right away, so we need to once again negotiate. And the Technocrats will not do this. The Machinists and the Foragers, both of them are open to negotiation. Let's have a look at the Foragers here. What would they like to do for me? Expedition support. And the worker shifts, the weather adjusted shifts, protect worker health. Workplaces must adapt working hours to the weather conditions. I think this time around we can also just go ahead and fund projects for them, right? And this will cost me some heat stamps, but other than that, they will be fine and we can vote on this. And it should get voted then right away.
The delegates have
Very good. A new law has passed. Honestly, I'm a bit overwhelmed right now with all these laws, right? Because all of them are valid in their own, for their own reasons. And it's always another faction that you hurt with that. So it's going to play a major role of what factions we actually want in the city and what factions we don't want to have in the city. Yeah, this is probably the most important choices that you can make. The city grows. Stuart, a new count has revealed significant growth in our population in recent weeks. Some attribute the rise to an influx of settlers from the frostlands, others to births outnumbering deaths. Whatever the cause, we have adjusted. 1,600 more people in the city. That's actually a pretty high number. And with that, we have a population of 9,597? Not higher? Shouldn't we have pushed 10,000? And the Ice Bloods rallies build support. So they show me how hardened they are, and they promise, or they claim to believe how the city can be improved further. They have some demands for this, and don't show their support. This would be the worst option here. I promise the weather adjusted work shifts. This might actually be something that I can go as well. The other two, especially here, the dutiful youth is probably a bit too extreme, right? So let's go ahead and do the weather adjusted shifts, because this is also something that one of my other factions like. I think the Technocrats. And a broken vow, the expedition support, and we can promise to restore this one too. Alright, let's just quickly check it out again out here. We're still getting in that food here, right? Yep, that's still the food deposit. I have 10 teams again, so we can actually go for the valley now, right? There might be some coal finding here. This looks interesting. The rest require a lot of teams, right? There's another 10 here with more food finding, and then we have the hills and the mountains. So let's go with this valley here again. A new expedition that we can go with. I love the seamless transition between those. Meanwhile, the next extraction zone has been finished, and with that we're now turning wood into material to a total output of 165. We're still not totally equal here, right? So 38 material is still left unchecked. However, also my housing need is going up because we need more workers and more people move to the city. So also another housing district. This will of course once again then also increase my food consumption, though we have a nice comfortable surplus there right now. Also building this one here should... Well, there's smog coming out of the extraction zones. We gotta be careful where we place this housing here. In those zones, rather not. There's then the smog coming out of that. Even though it would increase the heat. Right, that would be fun. Let's actually have it here, right? Because this is between the food and the housing district. There's lots of heat then here as well. There you go. And no smog. And the Vanguard Logistics Bay has been finished with that. Also, the warmer season is upon us right now. So this is, at least for now, reduces the amount of heat that we need to produce. And with that also significantly increases my coal output that we have for now. So we can stockpile some coal up to 30,000, which to me seems rather high right now. All right, another 77 foragers joined the Ice Bloods. I don't know, that these guys here seem too radical, right? Ensure survival of the fittest and the strength must be rewarded. It's not really a faction that I would like to boost or bolster. Let's have a look at the logistics district that we have, because here we do now have the Vanguard Logistics Bay. This gives me 15 Frostland teams. I take it. And with that, we place it here. We're down to 600 workforce now only. So now we're getting a bit tight on workforce. Should still be fine though for a while. And also here, the next housing district is coming along. Alright, separated families. Stuart, a large group of people has set up camp outside the city by one of our checkpoints. They claim to be relatives of the outsiders we let in. Oh, this is interesting. Alright, so this is an event coming right after we only let the productive outsiders in, right? This actually led to the problem now that the rest of the outsiders are waiting outside now, and that's their families. Alright. Now, interesting of what we should do. In this case here, let's actually, yeah, since I also want to get rid of the Ice Bloods again somehow, let's actually relax this law, right? And just see what happens then. So the outsiders who were selected to work in the city will be able to bring their family with them. This is a bit of a compromise in between. We are still not letting everybody in, but those that we let in, they can come in complete. So in families. That's okay to me. Seems like a nice compromise that we have. And actually with the Ice Bloods, we're still on favorable conditions right now. Alright, we can also get a new city law going. Research the weather adjusted shifts. That was another promise that I had. And we could have a look at that. So the weather adjusted shifts that we have them, it's the worker shifts, and to protect worker health, workplaces must adapt working hours. We do lose a bit of resource production efficiency, just slightly, but we also reduce the heat demand and also reduce the chance for diseases, as opposed to the machinists where the workforce requirement is slightly decreased, but also the squalor is marginally increased, right? So in this case here, actually I prefer the weather adjusted shifts. This doesn't cost me anything in addition. So we're just going to do this now. This is not really because I want to get the promise for the Ice Bloods done, but rather because I think this is actually the better choice out of the two. This is being researched now, and it still takes 7 more weeks. Should hopefully be on time. Yes, we have 47 weeks to finish this. The expedition support promise I will not do, however. I could still compromise here and promise the foragers some project funding, right? But the expedition support I'm not doing for now. We have 15 on the support team. How's my expedition going anyway? Are we there yet? No, we are not there yet. Alright, that would be another thing here. Alright, how is it looking with my outputs? So what I can see is housing should be fine now. It is. Fuel is fine anyway because it's rather warm right now. Food is totally fine for a long time, obviously. So I might actually go for more material output, and with that increase the size of the extraction zone up to this area though, right? Further away from the city, because I don't want to get the pollution into the city there. as well. All right, mandatory school. Actually, they don't like this. Who doesn't like this? Some think we should reduce theoretical knowledge and provide more survival training. We're filling these kids' heads with numbers and useless junk, complained an angry trapper. We ought to take them on field trips to hunt. Others argue for the exact opposite. We need to teach children how to think and come up with new solutions. Well, my personal believing is that not everybody is made for researching, and some also need to do manual work and love it actually. So for me, a balanced education is the most important thing. However, the game actually tells me this is the worst option because I would lose relation with all communities. Concentrate on science would give me machinists, and focus on survival would give me more improvement with the foragers. However, of course, there could be consequences in either one of these, so let's go with a balanced education. Lots of different decisions we have to make all the time, right? The technocrats are skeptical towards us now. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting them around again. Alright, also the next upgrade is there. We have broken the promise, that was fine. As wanted, we're still neutral with them. And there's now the next extraction district, boosting my output to a surplus. A small surplus it is, but at least it is a surplus. Workforce is at 300. Coal is really, really nice right now. So I might actually use the resource that we have, the frost breaking. Oh, we need a bit more workforce. We gotta wait a bit, right, for more people to grow again. Also, there's always someone sick. And there it is also, the weather adjusted shifts we have finished. This is a new policy now in effect. Next up on the tech tree, I would like to go for the scout training. So we will train scouts to use advanced technology and techniques in order to optimize exploration. This is good for the machinists and also for the technocrats, the mechanized scouts that we have here. And this will boost our progress in survival, and the exploration time is decreased with that. It doesn't cost me anything as well. So let's go ahead with this. I have no idea why it doesn't cost me anything. I think because it's the basic tech in the exploration tree, right? And the basic tech doesn't cost me anything. Others do cost me though. Yeah. No idea at the moment. Alright, the exploration continues over here. Just around the river bend, we found a sudden bend in the river up ahead north of here. Could indicate an underground resource nearby. And we stumbled across an abandoned caravan of sledges, long since picked clean. Closer inspection revealed wood that had been treated with oil, a crude but effective method. Frozen tracks indicate a sledge in the northwest. Then we get to the hill. There might be some survivors over there. There we have another point of interest. We can set an outpost here. More than enough coal remains to send back to the city. I mean, coal we have plenty of. Let's have a look at that. We need to connect a trail or a railway path to use this location. Now I think establish a food, a fuel, and a materials colony would be my main goals here. Fuel? I don't know right now. Is it coal? I guess so. That we're going to need. And the mechanized scout has been finished. That was the research for scouting. Let's have a look what else we got here. We got the survival tree, the economy tree that we haven't even touched yet, and the society tree on top of that. Now we have a bit of problem with the health all the time, so hospital might be nice. Workforce requirements are fine, so we could afford it actually. Just depends again on what kind of hospital we want, right? Got a few different options. We got I think the normal one, the hospital, medical treatment. Then the icebloods would support a recovery hospital with maternity wards and rehabilitation facilities, fully recover before being released. And then we have the teaching hospital, the technocrats want that, where medical education also takes place. Alright, this actually costs me more workers then, but it also has added bonuses on top of that, right? With more population growth, for example, or with more research speed. Research is not really my problem, so I don't think that we need to go with this. I definitely want to go with the hospital, but we're going with the normal hospital here, right? Also doesn't cost me so much. And very nice, we have quite a bit of workforce again, 1,200. As we're also growing a bit, but only a bit. Alright. Oh yeah, that ration bunker will not last forever. Might be a bit of a problem. And I do have 25 teams available right now, actually. Sounds good. Got the hills here. There's coal and goods available. This one here, I think, was for the survivors. Yep. Yeah, let's actually connect the trail. Oh. Alright, interesting. I guess we need to connect it with this pile here. Okay, it's a trail that actually needs to start somewhere, right? So we can build it here, obviously, but I cannot connect it with the city at this point. So I guess we need to make that foundation for the trail at the city. Also over here, where we do have the expedition district, I can go in. But this is very expensive, 200 heat and 5 teams for 8 weeks. Actually, this would be fine. It's looking a bit convoluted, but it should be fine. So let's build this trail here, and with that we can establish a coal colony then that we are probably going to need for that whiteout that is already coming in with a temperature drop to negative 60 degrees. So that fuel demand will rise significantly soon. We're stockpiled on the coal though, almost close to the maximum, so I guess it should not be a big problem. Alright, next up, extraction zone. Surplus is there. Goods factory we should have. We do have enough output in everything else. Oh yeah, there it is already. Coal season starts. And with that, yep, it's getting really full, really close now. Only 50 coal remain. And then we actually will lose coal again, right? And next up, goods factory. How can we build this? With the industrial district. And yeah, we can push it in between. It doesn't state that it actually pollutes, right? Like the extraction zone. So the industrial district is perhaps pretty good here in this area, close to the food district. Also, shared workers, we get that bonus, and it doesn't require that much workforce. Let's have it here. This makes the whole city more denser in this area, of course. And I think we also still have this one available there to us. Yep, there I can have another housing district primarily. Housing is fine, but not for that much longer anymore. So we'll just see how it goes. Alright, the promise of the foragers has been broken. That's fine though, right? We're still neutral with them. And I don't want to make them any stronger here. So I would rather focus on the machinists and the technocrats. There it is. With that, we are fulfilling more goods demand again. And we can further expand this. However, of course, it also increases my material consumption. But we still have enough output there, so I might actually just expand this one a bit further. There you go. Right, calm weather still, but soon we're going to have the whiteout. The first one. And Technocrats protest expands to expanded extraction district. And the hospital has been researched. Perfect. A new building that we have. I might actually go ahead and build this now in my housing district if I have a space available. I don't, so we first need to have an expanded housing district. Let's go ahead and do this. And then we should be ready for it. Alright, we have the protests now. Dust mine coal is destroyed in the protests by the Technocrats. Because they were against it. And I did not destroy it for them. They actually did just destroy it now. Right. Let's build the hospital now. There you go. 200 workforce we have. Hopefully this makes people a bit happier. And also rallying Iceblood's draft legislation. They want conservative treatment. A new law is unlocked with that. And the Icebloods have extended their activities into a new district. They have erected a stage near the hub and hold periodic rallies here as well. During the most recent event, they announced their brightest minds have been meeting treatment. They presented their new policy, conservative treatment. They want me to do this. I mean, honestly, I have no idea what to do here because both of them are bad. First of all, I'm getting forced into a law that I probably don't even want. On the other hand, I could disregard this. This relationship significantly worsens with them, which probably leads to more protests again. I'm not getting... Plus, the Ice Bloods are a really small faction, right? 20%? It's not that small anymore. I mean, I get it. They're the radicals, right? The radicals with the technocrats. I'm not going to give in there. I'm sorry. We're going to lose some reputation with them, but that's just how it is. I can't just fulfill any promise they want of me, right? Because the other factions would hate me again. But this once again also makes everything a bit more unstable now, because we have those protests. Hit stamps we have. I would like to improve my relationship with the machinists though, so I'm going to give them some money, right? And also actually the foragers, because they're also a bit more in between, right? And I'm also giving them some money there. Some heat stamps, right? This improves my relationship with them again significantly to neutral, so that I have both of these factions at least on my side, perhaps. And there's the Whiteout, by the way. I didn't even notice. And with that, also the starvation, a problem in the city, the trust falls. What is going on? This is collapsing rather quickly right now. That Whiteout, in addition, is causing a huge food problem. We need a lot of heat, which is still fine. No, did we just consume all the coal we had in 1 second? Negative 100 degrees? Very confusing to me right now. We had 30,000 coal in the stockpile for heating. It all is gone. The ice bloods grow more radical. And that's due to the cold. There's people freezing to death because we don't have enough heating. Yeah, well, that's Frostpunk for you. I think the difficulty does not go down. It's still a bit complicated and a bit confusing, I think, to me. In the middle of a whiteout. It's called a whiteout now. It's in reality a storm, right? And we already have negative 100 degrees. And in the first game, it kind of like, you know, builds up the tension to the first storm. And here it just happens after, I don't know, 50 minutes, and we're in it right away. It did catch me with my pants down, honestly. And in this case here, the coal is depleted right now. People just flat out hate me, honestly. We're close to yeah, to rebellion or even collapse. I have no idea. I've made some terrible decisions in the past, and yet I think we can still turn this somehow around, I guess. 500 people froze to death. Well, we still have more than 10,000, so this should be fine. Now, we do have a couple of things. First of all, of course, we need to wait for this storm here to pass. Otherwise, I will not be able to do anything, right? So, cold, catastrophic right now. Reason for that is the coal depleted quickly because we had a rebellion in the coal district, and also my dust coal mine, one of them, got destroyed in the process, and with it I think also some of my stockpile, and this led to, of course, my generator not working right now. Really, I'm going to overdrive it yet for the moment. This will output a bit more heat, so it does compensate for a few things. We have 700 heat stamps right now. I could use this to some of these factions here that are hostile to me right now, like the technocrats, for example, to fund some projects for these guys. Also, we can make a promise or grant agenda or even promote them. This will greatly improve the relationship with them, right? So with that, they are hopefully a bit better off. The ice bloods are also quite opposing us. So I might also give those more radical ones actually some funding here, so we can live a little bit longer, right? So we're skeptical with them now, but at least it's not leading to rebellion anymore. And let's also quickly check out the warning here. The people no longer trust you, and we need to keep this, or we need to turn this one around, right? Right now, it's not looking good. Of course, the storm is the first thing. Yeah, it's cold out there. Unfortunately, we don't see any people anywhere in this anymore, right? So it's all very abstract, you might even call it. And over here we have the expanded extraction district that is also not working anymore because the required deposit has already been used. There is no more wood here. I mean, there was 90,000 wood in it, but it seems like we consumed all of it at this point. So we can also destroy this one. This will also reduce the demand for heat, at least for the moment, right? Also unmet demands for the industrial district, that's actually something that we have right now. We cannot do because of the rebellion or because of the protests that we have. I wouldn't call it rebellion at this point. Alright, yeah, we got the 30 Frostland teams that I can still... Can I send them to work in the storm? So we can see the storm is right now all around us and we're in it. No, we cannot get there right now. So this is something we need to wait on anyway. Oh, wait a second. We actually have this coal deposit there. I think we can construct it at least, right? It's under construction now, yes, with the 10 outpost teams. And we still would have more for a second outpost team that I can send out there if I want to make this work somehow. Alright, severe cold, severe tension. The whiteout should be over now, any moment. What else can I do? Skeptical, 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 but they're weak. The fervor, their fervor is none, and relation is still skeptical. I could, with the biggest factions, we can also check this, 28%, 24%, 20%. With the forage, for example, we can give them the agenda. So the foragers can choose the next law to be voted in the council, and this improves the relationship with them quite a bit, right? So I'm giving them a free reign here, just to stay in power a little bit longer. It looks dramatic though, right? Graphics are amazing, I think. The art style. I would love more details though to have in the city and stuff like that. Right now, they're looking like, I don't know what it is. Stars or something like that that are fiddling around, or yeah, ants very quickly. So we're playing on the normal speed right now. So I'm not even speeding it up right now. So that's about that. Really, that storm needs to pass now. We're in a severe problem there right now. I can, however, continue with the next research already, and we probably should be doing this. Now, there is not that much I can actually research in the beta, right? We have the youth still available, so the percentage is increased. We can use youth for working. We have also the watchtowers here. This will require more workforce and more heat as well, but we have then a way of actually stabilizing unrest if it comes to that. A housing block increase sounds nice. Housing block requires the expansion of this. Shelter is going up with the foragers, for example. The machinists, they would like to have housing block. It's the same thing actually. The icebloods would go dense, higher density, right? And the technocrats would subside the housing and families and supported, so including the families. Actually, this gives me the highest shelter availability and also some income. This is interesting. What's the downside of it? The cost is exactly the same. The heat is the same. It requires workforce, but all of them require workforce. This actually looks like the best option here available to us, because we get the heat stamps, we get more shelter, twice as much as the normal ones, right? Let's develop this one. Have a look at that. I have no idea what we need the cores for right now. At least it's working. I haven't used them yet, I think, either. Alright. Is it clearing up now? This takes forever here, unfortunately. This whiteout. We have the ration bunker also depleted, right? There's no more food coming in from that. So this is also something we can see right now. I will definitely need to increase my food output. Every district I build right now, though, is definitely also costing me quite a bit of heat. But since the storm is over soon, we can actually afford this right now. We can have another hothouse, right? This is another 80 food that we get out of that, out of the second slot. And this will be then already enough. Material is the biggest problem right now. And for that we have, yeah, as we can see over here, more deposits available. So we can actually dig our way over there. And I'm trying to get as many of them in as possible, right? With the frost breaking. So that's all the materials here, so that we can make a massive district out of this area. The industrial district, it's the expanded industrial district, by the way. I think we need to delete this. Is it still working? Not as long as the unmet demand has been always there. I could make an emergency shift in my coal district. The thing is, I'm not providing all the materials right now, and this also leads to almost no coal output, right? It even states so that it's equal right now. So it should be fine. So for now, we are actually having enough as it is. Forager session incoming, so the foragers can decide the next law. It's up to them, really. We'll just see the outcome. Negative 100 degrees it still is. And it should be over now any second. Time is, by the way, also passing by really quickly. We are already in week 218, right? We are only allowed to play up to week 300 with the beta. So we are almost at the end of it again. I just hope that we can actually stay in power until then. There's no notable tension right now as well. Which is also surprising me, to be honest. Because just now it looked like it is collapsed, but it is not after all, right? It's cold, of course, but that's about it. Alright, there it is. The storm leaves again. All negative effects are removed. And also the trust in us should actually go up again. Since we have more heat stamps, I could also buy my way into their favor again. We could also grant the technocrats the next agenda then. Go ahead and do this. Right, so they will have also a saying there for once. And for the ice bloods, no, I'd rather not give them any agenda. I would like to fund the machinists though, with a few more hit stamps that we have, right? I hope this actually did some tricks here or there. The major thing, of course, is that we continue fulfilling demands. Very good. We're also taking in the last point here and then also the next way station. And we can actually already go ahead with the next extraction district, right? Out of this one. I'm trying to get in as many of these tiles as possible. There you go. And then we might work on another industrial district. Even though right now heat stamps, of course, is the main problem that I'm having. So that's probably not something I can do so quickly. Alright, also with the storm gone, we should be able to do some scouting again. We made it through this storm, but it was relatively short. When the next one comes, it will be worse. In the past, with whiteouts, devastated all our expansion attempts. We mustn't let that happen again, if we must find a permanent source of fuel before another, more severe one comes our way. So fuel it is. That's my main goal, of course. Yeah. The coal one, do we have the outpost there now? Yes, we have it. So this has been established now. So we have this one running for us. Frozen desert. There's more plains here with more food. It's really not something I would like to go with right now, though. There's cores. Fields. It all needs now more teams than before. There is the dwellers over there. And the glaciers. More food. We could go for more food. There's nothing over here. Oh, and also the subsidized housing blocks are in effect now. New building by the technocrats. I need more teams. Yes, we are already working our way through that. So in the meantime, I really want to continue exploration though. We're down here, right? So let's actually, yeah, go for the plains. This gives me food. Can't hurt to go for this either. So let's just do this. And where's that? There it is. Subsidized housing block, right? 100 workforce. We have that. Also heat stamps. It will lead to income. Additional shelter. Shelter? Do we need that? That's close, right? It's very close. So let's actually go ahead and try to have it one. We need to have an expanded housing district though for another housing block. And let's just make sure that we actually take one that is somewhere in between here to take advantage of the heat there as well, right? So this area there, perfect. Very good. Meanwhile, this one comes along. We're still governing, right? So for now, it's looking fine. Some minor tensions. That's okay. They should actually like us now, right? Neutral at least again. Ice Bloods are still skeptical. The Machinists are still hostile. This is... We can make a promise for them. Let's also try this. Promise. Quest to repeal the weather-adjusted shifts. Destroy the bio-waste drum hothouse. Or research heat reinjection. Alright. Let's try to make this promise. Heat rejection. Let's have a look where that is. Up here, waste heat conversion. So the game actually tells me where it is, right? Where we have that promise. And there it is. The excess heat produced by industrial machines will be reinjected back into the machines to allow them to operate at higher capacity. And yeah, increases the research, the production efficiency significantly. The technocrats also like this this approach here, right? So both of them will like this idea, and let's develop it right away to fulfill another promise. All right, food is fine again, housing is fine, heat is fine, so this should also lower discontent in general. Materials and goods especially is not fine at the moment. So we have the next extraction district now working for us, producing the materials. That is still not enough. So we need to expand this area once. And we'll also get another housing area out of this. And at the same time, we don't have enough heat force, enough workforce actually right now. That's also something to keep in mind. Alright, but at least this is coming along. Also now we are getting the next promise here. 3 essentials has been put on the agenda by the technocrats. Another promise that we are going for here. Alright, let's just see. The expedition has started and is now already over here having a look at that. Oh, also we probably should turn off the overdrive again. Now still, the expanded industrial district is a problem for me. Disable unmet demands. Doesn't really state what these demands are. District is not working right now. I mean, it's a shame that we're producing goods for us, right? Very good. At least material has a surplus again. And promise to the machinist has been kept. They're delighted. They now look upon your rule more positively again. Trust rises again with those guys too. They're still a bit skeptical towards us. And the Icebloods begin to protest again. Why? They demand you repeal the mandatory school and pass a conservative treatment. I can't do that. We will deal with them later and the protest will disperse if you improve relationships to normal. The thing is, this once again disables another district that we had, right? With the Icebloods. Fund their projects. I can do this once more. Is that doing enough? No. We can still do something else though. Trust restored. The people's faith in you has been restored. The common consensus is you'll continue to hold your position as steward. Holy cow, yes, we made it. So at least we are staying in power again for a little while longer. I told you, right? I would make it work somehow. Make a promise, grant the agenda, or promote them. This will, however, make them more powerful too, right? Right now they're actually, yeah, already at 22%. I mean, they're all rather balanced right now, you see? And the machinists, I can grant them the agenda again. I like to do this because usually I'm on course with them. So let's actually give them the agenda once more to also boost our reputation with them. And with those guys here, I could make a promise at. It's probably, once again, the school promise. Yeah, or we promote them. No idea. I don't like to make them more powerful. The expedition has been finished. Down here in the plains. So there is something. The hunting grounds. Let's have a look inside. There is a food deposit of 1 million food. And we can harvest this for 5 Frostland teams. And we're doing this, of course. And yeah, the machinists demand vote on heat re-injection. They have just drafted the law. Our customary practice would be to hold a vote. The machinists graciously agree to forego their customary research privilege, but trust you will grant them the agenda in the near future to compensate. Alright, there's the law that's in progress right now. And what's going on here? Another one, protest in progress. It's once again the Icebloods, right? They're very radical and they're disabling my districts all the time. And fun projects, yeah, the game also tells me we need to negotiate with them. Promises anything really to make them happy. This will really only make them more powerful. Let's use it once. Alright, and the protest begins collapsing. Alright. And the protesters loses steam because we're actually on good terms with them again. But they are actually now at 28% power. Something I don't like. And we have another 50 weeks before the game is over. Alright, let's just hope that this extraction district is working again. Can we actually do in the meantime the logistics district up here? Yes, we can. Perfect. Right, to get more teams on their way. This would be another nice goal. Surplus there is there. Food is a great surplus right now. We can do something else. If we had the money, we could get a food depot out because we're having such a great surplus right now that we could utilize this. Coal is still problematic. We're probably going to need another dust coal mine. I don't have any other coal mines though available, right? This one, however, should work. Gives me 200 coal right now. But even that doesn't work. Right? Even that does not lead to a surplus of coal. And we're actually losing coal again. That's because of all the building of new districts, of course, that do cost me heat levels. Veronica the janitor. You amended the allow productive outside the law to let in whole families regardless of the qualification. And she's skeptical about this. Yeah, total demand of heat is a bit high for these districts here. Now, if only there would be a way to actually increase the heat generation of the generator, so there is no steam hubs anymore as far as I can see. The technocrats have a suggestion. Want to pass the mass-produced goods to solve problems with heat stamps. We should pass that, let us pursue it, and the city will benefit. They will look in with distrust. Investigate the solution. We have the promise here with the heat stamps. I mean, yeah, we do have a problem here. We're only producing 9 right now per week, right? And because we don't have the good problem solved right now, we are also losing a lot there. 5 negative per week because of the unmet demand for goods. The thing is, how long is this not working now? Unmet demands. The game really doesn't tell me why. Can I demolish it and build it again? Probably is the safest bet. Or can we expand it? No. I mean, it's the... Yeah, the agenda is fine. I need to get the new law. We still have that cooldown, right? That's something. I don't have enough money. Interesting. How can we get this district here to work again? It's a bit problematic for me right now. The district costs me... The industrial one, 120 heat stamps. And materials. Materials we don't have right now because this is not working. So we need more. Up here we have the iron deposit that I could go ahead with. And let's just try and get the food in there too. Alright, so there's 2 deposits up here that I would like to use. Let's try and make it work like that somehow. There it is. And with that we can get then a new extraction district going if I have a bit more workforce. So we need to wait for it to grow a bit further again. In the hills, we would have the chance of finding goods, so I could try it. It's also close to us. Let's start this expedition. We have just the amount of expedition workforce that we need for that. This would be fine. I cannot research anymore because we don't have an active research anymore. Yeah, that's okay. We can't finish any research anymore anyway. There it is, the law again, and there is the promise with the mass-produced goods. It's probably a good idea. In order to overcome goods, production efficiency is significantly increased. Of course, if there's no downside to that, we can negotiate further with the foragers. And vote for it, please. And we are going to promise you what? Build the dust coal mine. Probably what I would like to do. Anyway, right? Or we just fund their project. No, let's have the coal mine there. Because I need to do this anyway. And now you can vote. Alright, I think I'm slowly getting the hang of this. When it comes to those factions. It was a bit overwhelming at first, but there's the promise also that has been kept with it, right? And we have the mass-produced goods. And with that, holy cow, it's -1. And we would actually have then every good fulfilled. Do we still get that? No, we also do not get the penalty anymore, right? So in this case here, income is at 16 again. It's getting colder, -50 it is again. So the heat demand is going up. And with that, my coal production right now is problematic, to say the least. So in this case here, I would need to build what I've promised, the dust coal mine. We can build a second one. 400 workforce requirement, that's steep, right? I would probably, before we do this, probably do the material district, because materials are super important. And right now we have a super unfulfilled area here. So that's the extraction zone, just here where we have the iron ore, right? There you go. Building this, can we still build then the house? No. I need to wait for this now. For the 400 workforce. Should be coming in anyway over time. And the Icebloods once again begin to rally. These guys are really troublemakers. Bursting with love and admiration, the streets fill with Icebloods as they praise your name and call upon the rest of the city to rise up for you as well. Icebloods have begun rallying in support of you and the direction you have led the city. Alright. So it seems to be positive. I have no idea why they love me so much more. And 1,800 people moved in. That's the workforce that we are going to need for that dust coal mine. And with that also finish the next promise there. That's looking fantastic now. Alright, this district is now working, and with that we have a material surplus again. Very good. Super important. And also the promises have been kept. And we actually have now 2 factions that love us. How did that happen, right? 2 dust coal mines are also working now, and we're stockpiling a bit of coal. But right now, there is another whiteout coming, unfortunately. This will make things worse again. Alright, other than that, we have... Oh, storm has hit the city once more. The stockpile is immediately at 0. I have really no idea how this works. And the whiteout's ending also the rallies here that we have. There's still another thing here. Alright, just someone... negative 90 degrees it's only this time around. Catastrophic cold, prioritize the housing heating, I would say. Solve cold differently. Cold is decreased, right? But we produce less goods. That's actually in my favor right now. We can also hopefully activate the overdrive once more. But that's also not really working in our favor there. Do the outposts work actually? Oh. Shipping to the road. It seems like... No, they're actually disabled, but they're still existing, right? Oh! And we've reached the end of the beta. At least still in position as a steward. I hope. And it's time. And that was it, right? And we continue onwards then in July, or if there is another beta for you to show. I hope you enjoyed this, even though all the troubles I've caused, we still managed to stay in power up to the last second. And yeah, the game is vastly different than Frostpunk 1. And actually, I'm also a bit curious how it really turns out then with the other scenarios, the campaign, and also a real endless mode as well. I hope you enjoyed this one. Stay tuned.